From Buffalo to the big leagues, this is MaDi Tells All. Guys, welcome back. It feels so crazy that I haven't done a solo episode in so long. When I say so long, it's been like maybe 3 weeks because as you know, it is football season in Buffalo, New York, and around the world. I am just like in awe right now. My life has been absolutely nonstop. And when I come onto the pod, what I do is I literally, when I go do these solo episodes, I go through my phone and I just try to remember everything that I've done. Do you see this right now? I have bullet points and bullet points in the last 3 weeks of like big events that I've been doing and been a part of. So far, the Bills have had 3 home games, 1 in New York City, and then back on the road again for Atlanta. And as you know, I have an apartment in Buffalo, New York, and 1 in New York City. Mostly lately, I guess now a little bit Buffalo bound, but I have just been transporting my car or flying every single time. And everyone assumes because Buffalo is in New York, they're like, oh, that's only a few hours away. No, it is a 7-hour drive, but it is absolutely incredible and beautiful along the way. But I have just been going back and forth and living 2 different lives like Hannah Montana. Shout out, that was one of my favorite shows growing up. But here I am, and I'm just going to get into like some of the stuff that I did and just talk about it. So big news. The hot sauce is starting to come into play. Fruition, I don't know, whatever that word is. But Wingnutz has officially picked up the hot sauce. And my God, did they do an absolute incredible job. It is so tasty. I've been working on this for the last year. And people just think like, you make a sauce, you drop a sauce. We're not trying to just like put it in plastic bottles and go sell it to the world. I want to do this the right way. And it kind of reminds me of what I did with my clothing line when I had 2 pairs of pants that I had sampled, that I custom made with a designer and all this stuff. And I rocked those pants for 8 months and I was teasing people like drops coming soon, drops coming soon. I didn't even put an order yet for those clothes. I didn't have money for those clothes to do it, but I knew I was going to do it. Go on a trip to South Africa. 1 dinner changed my life. I went home. I ended up being like, hey, Dad, can you help me out? And I will pay you back. I just really need to do this. Ended up selling out in 3 days. So I do think there is a process where you do tease the people and you create that drama of like, is she coming out with the hot sauce? Because like, it's so funny when I go up to people, they're like, so like, you're not doing the hot sauce anymore? I'm like, no, I'm doing the hot sauce. I'm like, but it just takes process. I've had Agency 15 helping me do the whole entire design process, which is like insane. You're sitting in a room with like 7 other creators, designers, creative directors, and you are just trying to figure out what you want your logo to be. At first, I wanted the classic Buffalo Food Slut logo of the girl eating the chicken wing. But then I was like, you know what? Like, I kind of want something a little bit different. I want something a little bit classier, but still edgy. So we have designed this like sexy cowgirl vibe, which goes like so perfect. But she's like riding a buffalo, so it still has our buffalo roots, but it doesn't just have to resonate with only Buffalo fans, because as you know, if you travel the world, there is Buffalo flavored something everywhere. So long story short, Wingnutz picked up my sauce. They did an absolute incredible job. So the Millersport location, you can go get my wing sauce, which we tried it for there for the first time. My little sister, Emmy, her boyfriend, Tanner's mom, and we went there and they treated us like royalty. We had so much pizza, so much food. It was absolutely incredible. But like, it hits you in 3 different flavor profiles. It's like sweet, spicy, and then that like lingering like peppers that are in your mouth. The flavor profile is just absolutely insane. But we're having a meeting tomorrow morning to talk about what it's going to look like to go really start getting some packaging, or even start doing stuff where we put it in mason jars and we sell it at the store, because so many people are asking me for it. But yeah, that's what's going on with wing sauce. And other news, my brother and his wife finally went on their honeymoon. As you know, I was my brother's best man, which I have that speech, and I'm going to do one of the podcast episodes where I do the speech because it's hysterical. I roast him for 5 minutes. My brother's like, I didn't know you were a comedian. And I was like, yes, I am. They went to Greece and they just looked like they had such an incredible time. And I just like love. My brother loves Michelle. She's a beautiful Colombian woman. And I just like knew my brother was never going to settle down until he had a little spice in his life. And Michelle is exactly that. She's older than him. She has an amazing job. And they are just a powerhouse couple today, or all the time. Investment properties that they're doing and just how they want to improve their life and just nonstop the hustle and grind. I love them. Their trip looked insane. I almost went and crashed their honeymoon. They were like, come on in. I was like, fine. And then I was back in Buffalo. I did my classic, my ass cupping. What's ass cupping? It's like lymphatic drainage, but it also is like equivalent to doing like 2,000 squats. And it's incredible because I'm always on a mission to figure out how I can make my butt bigger. I mean, what girl isn't? Honestly, what guy isn't? Like a nice guy with a nice tush, like that is where it's at. But I also went to Southern Junction, which if you don't know, now you know. Southern Junction is insane. It's like Indian Texan barbecue. The owner, I believe, and I don't know if Indian's the right term, but something like that because it's like Indian spices and curry and stuff. But he is Indian, but he grew up in Texas. He has been awarded James Beard nominations, I think twice now. And he is just, I mean, it's the most incredible place on Connecticut Street. There's a line out the door. They're just chopping the meat in front of you. And it's so cool because I just saw a New York City food blogger went there to go, literally like took a 24-hour flight like to Buffalo to go get Southern Junction. It wasn't even a Bills game. So that's like the crazy part too about like living in New York City is like now when I fly in for Bills games, it's so fun because everyone on that flight that's going to Buffalo is 90% of them are going to the Bills game, and I'm wheeling and dealing. I'm handing out stickers. I'm giving them game day cards. I'm like, where are you tailgating at? You know, and it's just like so fun to just naturally bond. Like the guy next to me on my flight the other day, like we literally talked about Buffalo for like an hour. He's been living here for like 8 years, and he was just telling me that one of his friends also runs a food blog. I was like, oh, give her my number. I was like, if I can't go to a place, I always send other food bloggers, which... Speaking about more food in Buffalo, O'Daniel's fish fry was a damn situation the other night. I walk in there and it's my mom, dad, my grandmother, I think, and then my Aunt Libby and Uncle Rich. And we walked in there and then everyone just started loading up. I didn't know that my cousin Richie was going to be there, Morgan, my Aunt Linda, like South Buffalo to a T. We get to O'Daniel's. We all end up ordering like fish fries and broiled fish. When you have 8 people ordering fish, you know, usually you're probably going to smell some type of like fishness. No, this fish was so damn fresh and it was so tasty. And I've never really I've ate chicken wings at O'Daniel's, which their hot sauce is incredible. People steal their bottles all the time. It's like the ongoing joke because they leave it on the table and people, I mean, my mom totally has a few at our house. But I got a garlic parm. And it was just out of this world insanity. I was like, I need 12 of them. I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'm craving this. So yeah, it was the home opener, the Bills home opener. Totally forgot who we played, but I know it was an incredible tailgate. Was it a morning game? I don't know. No, I think it was later in the day. Oh, was it Thursday? I don't know. So many things. But the game was absolutely insane. We get there hours early before. And Saturday, I had to go prep for like hours. I wasn't really planning to. I was planning to go there. We had a ton of new students. I implemented an internship program at the University of Buffalo. I speak there about 4 times a year. There's social media class, women entrepreneur, business socials, like a little bit of everything there. I was blessed last year to be able to go there and I have a whole entire presentation about creative directing, companies I've worked with, and obviously Gameday Hospitality, Gameday Buffalo is one of my biggest clients. And so I always end the speech with opportunities to work there. If anyone's looking for stuff, just the growth and just what I've done to help the business grow. And we now have about 45 students from UB that are all workers. And shout out to the one amazing kid, Chris, who came up to me after I was done speaking and was like, hey, I'm a GM over at a restaurant bar and fine dining Italian restaurant in Rochester. And as soon as I heard that, and he was like, is there any opportunities for me to work at Gameday? And I was like, yes. I was like, give me your resume, like done. And he came to one of the tailgates, and we, were understaffed. It was a cold game, and we just kept selling tickets. And if some people didn't show up, that's the life of hospitality. It happens all the time. And I look at Chris, and I was like, buddy, you're a GM over at a restaurant. I don't care that you're only 22 years old. We have a private group coming of 300 people for the opposing fans in that lot. I need you to not ask me any questions, and I need you to just figure it out. And that kid, Chris Martin, never asked me a question the whole entire tailgate and handled 300 people like it was his job. And right away, we just started giving him different duties. He never even did the internship program. We hired him right away. And now he's helping with operations. He's doing staffing for us, and he's leading some of our team meetings. But I love when I see young entrepreneurs just absolutely crush it and want to be a powerhouse and just come in there. And I don't have to give direction. I think the life of hospitality, you thrive under pressure and you get thrown into the fire. So like I said before, the first time I was bartending, the owner came in and was like, hey, you talk too much. Do you want to bartend? I was like, yeah, I didn't know how to make a drink. I didn't know how to do anything. But I learned from there how to do that and customer service. So I just have to give that kid a shout out because I'm so proud of you, Chris. I'm so happy you're on our team. But the home opener, so I go there Saturday. A few days before, I get a message, hey, does anyone know a welder? I was like, well, yeah. I put it on Instagram. I was like, hey, do we have a welder? The power I'd say about social media, there's so many, obviously, ups and downs. But if you need something and you have a following, it's so much easier. I don't have to go on Google. I don't have to call my dad, call my mom, try to get connections. But I ended up being like, oh my God, my cousin Dan's a welder. My cousin came over and welded the stairs to our shipping container bars because we have these awesome shipping container bars, and then we have top decks on top of them that you can rent out. And it's just so fun. You just go up the stairs. It's 20 to 25 people. You see, Highmark Stadium, and then you see the new stadium being built. Trainwreck Sports does live podcasting up there every single week, and they have a big mic, and they just get the crowd going, and it's so much fun. But we needed someone to come weld. So my cousin Dan came and welded that. And then we just realized how much stuff we needed to prep for the home opener, that I was there for about 8 hours and completely missed my family party. And that is the life of a showgirl. Am I right? Shout out to Taylor Swift's new song because I am relating to that song so much. But I'm a team player, and stuff needed to be done. So I was like, you know what? I called my family and I was like, yeah, I won't be making it. I made it for the last 10 minutes, but nobody was there. But it was my Uncle Ronnie's 70th birthday, which shout out to him because he does not look 70 at all. But he doesn't drink. So I feel like that's, you be healthy as hell. But the home opener went absolutely incredible. People were from around the world, from Scotland, Switzerland, Germany, Australia, you name it. On average, there's about 12 countries and probably 17 states minimum. So I love it. I hosted a chicken wing eating competition, which was so fun. It's what I've been implementing into every single game now because people are coming from around the world and they know that Buffalo chicken wings are the draw. So I started doing it a little bit here and there last year because it's so hard because I do run around with my head cut off because I'm a customer service queen and I go to every single group tent. I go to every single corporate tent and I walk around to even general admission everywhere. How'd you find out about us? Is there anything I can do? I can help. I saw this one woman who just looked super hot, go up to the bar, get her ice, get her mad ice cubes. She came over to me 5 minutes later. She's like, oh my God, what a difference. I am here all day to make your experience the most amazing experience because at the end of the day, my face, my name, my brand is tied to the company. And I just want people to walk away and be like, oh my God, that was the best experience. Also, I just want sponsors to come in and just be like, I am getting everything that I paid for because nothing makes me more angry than influencer partnerships and sponsorships in general with companies where they're like, oh, we put your logo on the backdrop. Cool. Do I know that influencer or social person is going to be like tagging, posting, engaging. Like, no, oh, we put your logo on napkins. Like, cool. Every business now is spending money on 3 things. It's social media marketing, experiential marketing, digital marketing. I think I hit it all. And with that, there's SEO, but it's crazy to me that companies will charge what they charge. We give such an experience. My personal brand gives such an experience all the time. I'm so just, if you are a small business and I send you my media kit and it's totally out of your price range, which just happened the other day, I had a Bill's Backers bar in New York City reach out to me, which I was like, let's go. And the place looks absolutely incredible. It's called Ruthford. I believe I'm saying that right. And it looks like a beautiful sports bar. They reached out to me and I sent them a proposal to be a creative director behind their campaign launch of officially becoming a Bill's Backers bar, which I'm like, let's go. Let's just do this in every city. And they couldn't hit I sent 3 tiers for it with all different things, having stuff with influencers, regular, Bills fans that are my friends, and then me coming in solo and just like making an announcement video. They wanted tier 2 and they wanted nothing changed, but they wanted like $1,000 off. And I was like, I laughed a little bit and I was like, if I'm hearing this correctly, you want everything in package 2, but $1,000 off. And I was like, no. I was like, let me go back to this, take a few things out, take a few models out. And what I'm going to do is give you a homework assignment. All these photos, 100% of them have to be used. I need you to print them out. I wanted to print out beautiful Canva of me in your restaurant that's year round from the photo shoot. When it's Bills Week, I want table tents with my photo, with my logos on there, with my Instagram handles, letting people know that I am the girl to talk about going to tailgates, Buffalo food, everything like that. Because if I'm going to put in all that effort and you just expect me to come into your place and I'm going to be the miracle that makes you a Bill's Backers bar, joke's on you. Unless you want to pay for a crazy premium package where I keep that content, I keep going in there weekly, that's a different story. But if you're trying to negotiate with me, I can negotiate all day, but they're totally cool with it. They were like, we love and appreciate that you're able to make this happen. So let's work out on this. And now it'll be amazing because now my face is going to be all over a high-end sports bar in New York City, right in Madison Square Garden, which is a few blocks away from the podcast studio. So if people are going to negotiate with you like that, then you need to see what they have. I'm sure. And the suit is so funny because everyone's from Ireland over there. So they're just yapping away. And I was like, oh, I'm super Irish as well. But I can go on tangents forever. I'm going to be excited to work with them. But I am head negotiator everywhere I go. I give a lot of value. I want value back. And so you always just have to, trust the process. Oh, yeah. And then before the home opener, the other night we went out to Rec Room, which was really fun. Was that before or after the show? I don't know. We went to Rec Room. We were hanging out a little bit with the Reeds. And I didn't know that Andre Reed has a son who also lives in New York, which is pretty cool. And it was just fun to hang out with them. And I met their one friend, Kevin, who is one of the producers or editors for the new Bills movie that's going to be coming out. The One Before I Die with, I think, Andre Reed and Chad Michael Murray are some of the co-producers on the show. And I met Kevin, and Kevin and I were just having so much fun, just talking all things Buffalo. He lived in Buffalo forever, moved to LA for a few years, maybe moved to New York City for a little bit. But I'm excited because I'm going to start doing some work with them. They need some Buffalo content. And I was like, oh boy, do I got you. And they realized because it was football that it was so many men in all of these interviews. And they're like, we need some feminine energy. And I was like, boy, do I got you. So stay tuned because I am going to make some good content that's going to go in that movie because this would be my second movie. So let's just keep it going. Now that I'm in New York, it's incredible. Oh, yeah, and the Bills won. The Bills won the home opener. Can't remember who it was against, but it was absolutely amazing. And my friends James and Jenny came. They sat with me, which they're OGs. I had so many friends, as I mentioned before, that I went to college with that just 86 me as soon as I started becoming successful and was in, the limelight. They just assumed my whole entire life was me caring about things on social media, which is not the case. When you are with me, I am one-on-one. I am looking into your soul and we are having deep conversation. If my phone needs to be out, it'll be out for like 2 seconds to make the content. And then I always like edit the stuff later. But long story short, James and Jenny, they're OG. So I did like all of that. And then after the home opener, the next day I had to leave early in the morning and head right to Times Square because I was recording with NFL Fan Therapy. They are freaking hysterical. I just am like in awe of how funny they are. So their content started popping up on my feed. And I was like, who is this? And I went on there and I was like, okay, they got like 50,000 followers. Now I think they're at 60 because they're just growing like crazy. And I was like, I just was getting such comedic relief. And then I saw some Bills stuff and I was like, oh, cool. They got a Bills fan. They have Ravens fans. They have basically every NFL team. And what they do is they have a therapist sit down and they're in a room and there's like 12 people that are all wearing their favorite jerseys and they just go about and rant about their team, and it's completely free-lived, not scripted, and they just bitch about their teams. Sometimes, the Ravens have an amazing week and they can just bash everyone else who they won. And so I ended up driving. I woke up in the morning because I had to leave early and drive 7 hours with Winifred with me and go there, and I go pull up to Times Square, and we're there for 3 hours filming and laughing our asses off. And it was so funny because the guy next to me, this is so Buffalo, we're talking, and for more than 2 seconds, he's from South Buffalo. I was born in South Buffalo. He said his last name. I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. I think he said he went to Timon and his whole family was like Timon Mercy. My family was Timon and Mercy. And then what do you know, when I started tagging him and posting him, like some of my Buffalo Food Slut fans and followers were like, oh my God, that's my brother. That's my best friend. Like, small world. It's so Buffalo. Like, that we're in New York City and you find someone that's from your hometown. But we ended up filming for like 3 hours. And it was so funny because me and the kid John that were the Buffalo fans, we were acting like we were cousins who were dating because like Buffalo's so small. Like, it's like everything that you think about Buffalo, like, dramatic by 30% to just make it like comedic and like not that true, but not too far from the truth. We get done and everyone's like, so where do you do stand-up? And I was like, oh, I don't do stand-up. And they're like, oh, are you like a Netflix girl? Like maybe like have a show on Netflix? Which, come on, put me on. And I was like, no. And they're like, what? And they're like, you're funny. And I was like, oh, I know I'm funny. But that was like, I should have been so tired. I drove for 7 hours and then filmed for 3 hours and then had to take like an hour train home. And I was on cloud nine. I was like, yo, this is my calling. Like, I might have to be a comedian now. But like the free live script was so funny. And today they messaged us that they like want to hit some topics about like that one guy who like got stabbed by like a crazy fan. But like, I like love my Buffalo Bills. I don't really know what's going on in the other Buffalo, but like I'm going to let the two men take care of that. And I'm just going to do my thing because we all bounce off each other in like the funniest way. Like the one guy is like John does like the dramatic, like one before I die and like more like a grandpa talking, I'd say. And then me, I'm just like who I am and then I just spin everything like a little bit more dramatic. But I have to go film with them today because today I'm in the podcast shooting solo episode. Then I'm interviewing my one girlfriend that I've met newer to New York, Lexi. I got to find out if that's how she goes because my name's Lexi, but then it's Lati on Instagram. But she's like done maybe like a Miss America and stuff like that. I don't know. The best part about these like interviews is like I don't really do too much research. Like I want to find out about who you are and have organic relationship with you as if I've never done research or know who you are. So that's going to be fun. So doing all that here, then we're going to go out for lunch. Then I have to go take the train back to my apartment, grab my car, go to MetLife, go film at MetLife because we have a huge tailgate with Gameday Hospitality and Savvy Seats with Gameday New York. And we have a ton of people going there. So I'm going to just like look cute, do some informational videos of like what the tailgate is like. And then I have to go to NFL Fan Therapy and go film with them for 3 hours. So that's my day. And last night I was up way too late, but I cooked this incredible dinner. It was a cod with curry and jalapeno spice. And then I put it over this cucumber salad that I'm obsessed with making. You take your mandolin and you do apples, celery. There's something else. Oh, cucumbers. Apple, celery, cucumbers, dates, Parmesan cheese, a little bit of red onion, mayo, and a crazy amount of fresh garlic and lemon. And and parsley. It is incredible. So you make that, then I put the cod over top, and then I just made bomb chipotle sweet potatoes. And I can't wait to go home in a little bit and have some leftovers because we call it the crack salad. We've made it before, Lainey and I, and we're obsessed with it. But I made that. It was supposed to be me, my friend Lainey, and Jessie, but Lainey was working too late. She couldn't come home. And then Jessie was working super late. But I was like, dude, just still come over because I made all this food and everyone's ditching me. And so it was hysterical because, like, I'm a mood setter. So I had this place dialed to the nines, which was just like, I had candles lit. I had like my mini little like fireplace lit. And then it's just Jessie and I. And I'm dead because like I've been friends with Jessie for like 6 months. I was like, welcome to my helpless romantic paradise right now. And he's like, oh, this is great. He's getting wined and dined by me. I made this drink that was so good. I took Sandbaggers, which kudos to them. They're like one of our main sponsors in a few of our cities, and their product is just incredible. It's like Canadian's #1 seltzer. And so I did that over ice with cucumbers and then a watermelon kombucha. Lit. So freaking good. Had that on the patio. It was the most incredible night last night. It was just beautiful. I have accordion glass windows that open up and swing open, so it makes it like a 360 view of the house. And we just chatted until like 2 o'clock in the morning. Food, he just launched a podcast, so I was giving him advice. He's an amazing videographer, so like we were just going back and forth, showing each other like different clips, being like, what can I improve on? Which is so nice in New York City because you can bounce ideas off the most talented people, and they most likely are a block away from you, or they're at the local coffee shop. So the networking game here is absolutely insanity. But yeah, so we filmed with that. Then the other day I went to Bath House, which was so incredible. I just brought my laptop for hours. It's in Williamsburg, and the pool is 120 feet overlooking the Manhattan skyline. And then there's saunas and cold plunges, and there's guided meditation. And I did 8 minutes in the cold plunge, which was pretty crazy. But this was so much fun. Prince Street Pizza asked me if I would come to One Bite Pizza Fest that's hosted by Dave Portnoy. And it's one bite, everyone knows the rules, with the best pizzerias from around, I don't know if it's the world or the United States, but the pizzas were incredible. I think it's all pizzas he's rated like 8 and above. And so Prince Street Pizza was there, and I've worked with Prince Street Pizza now for, 2 or 3 years. And they were like, come. And I was like, okay, I'm going to bring a jar of my hot sauce. They let me completely like put it all over the pizza. We walked around to a bunch of the different vendors, and we walked around to VIP, and we were like, this is, a Buffalo Food Slut collab with Prince Street Pizza. And the reactions of everyone, I had people coming up to Prince Street Pizza and being like, I can't leave right now until I can buy a mason jar of that hot sauce. Where can I buy it? And I'm just giving them stickers. I'm like, guys, we're working on it, but this is the buzz I'm talking about. And it was just so fun. There were so many celebrities there. That one guy is called Chocolate Trump. He is so funny. I didn't realize that he was like at the Built Rewards tent, like next to us with a microphone, just like emceeing. He's like a comedian. And I've seen so much of his stuff on my socials that pop up. So it was so funny to see him. And then there was another guy that Prince Street Pizza uses that is like, I don't know his name, but he's like also super famous. He's in a ton of like, I would say like mobster movies because he gives that like Italian daddy vibes. And he wears like, the sweatsuits that they like wear around here, which is like the owner of Prince Street Pizza, like the OG owner, needs to have his own TV show. go to the Italian festival, meet him. He's got like a huge ass cigar and he's got one of those J-Lo sweatsuits on with glasses like this with chains. And I'm like, and he's like, I don't know, 70 years old. And I was like, this is actually hysterical because you are like what a mobster is. But long story short, one bite was absolutely incredible. I ran into one of my girlfriends, Katie from Buffalo, which is so fun because she was working with a Prosecco company that I like got connected with. And I was like, oh, let's do some partnerships. Like I'm always like, it might look like sometimes I'm going to things for shits and giggles, but I always got a plan. I am a networking queen. When I go to those events, I'm taking pictures of all the activations. I'm seeing who's sponsoring the event because if they're sponsoring that event, they could most likely sponsor something I'm doing, something Gameday's doing, something Syndicate's doing. I am always trying to figure out where the work goes. But it was just absolutely incredible. And then the Bills came to New York City. The freaking Bills came to New York City, which was so great because I finally didn't have to travel. I was like, sweet, this is happening. I didn't do too much the night before. I'm sure there were some meetups, but I tried to go to like 3 Bills backers bars, like one in Soho, everything, and like couldn't find the people. I was like, where are you guys? But I walked around. I think I got dinner by myself. And then one of my buddies, social media friends, texted me that he was going to Cat's Deli, which I was literally across the street having a solo glass of wine because I was just like, whatever, I guess I'll have dinner by myself. And he runs an amazing food blog in Toronto. And it was so funny because I literally was across the street from Katz. So I was like, yeah, I can meet you there. That was my first time having this Reuben situation from there. Oh my God. I cannot believe how freaking incredible that sandwich is. Melt in your mouth, and customer service because it's 5 rows deep of people lined out the door. They get you in pretty fast. The line moves. But they give you samples like while you're waiting and they're like, where'd you come from? Da da da. And they joke around with the people. That's all I'm asking. Like nothing's worse than walking into a restaurant and I know that the bartenders slam, but them just like not even acknowledging me and being like, hey, like what's happening? Can I get you anything? Or not, can I get you anything because they're busy? But, hey, I see you. I'm super slammed right now. Give me 5 minutes and I will take care of you. Hey, your first drink's on me. Just figure it out, But it was so much fun. I mean, our tailgate was completely all Bills fans because at Gameday New York, we have Bills fans and then we have the competing team because we're like in New York territory. There was probably 7 Jets fans. But I did some informational videos. We also won that game. But that game, I'm pretty sure, we crushed the Jets. We murdered the Jets, which like we should. But last week we lost against the freaking Patriots. It was just a boring game. But I'm never stressed out. Like when the Bills lose, it sucks. But like I can't have it be my personality, But speaking of the Bills, I was invited to Angel's Margarita, their launch of their brand in New York City. So they officially, Angel Margarita, I don't know, is it Angel Margs? I think it's Angel Margaritas. They officially launched in New York City. And I was invited to the launch party, which was so incredible. It was at a really like fine dining, I would say Mexican restaurant. We got to try the product, which like their blueberry Marg is just absolutely incredible. And I love that it must be made with real blueberries or berries because the color of it comes out and it's like purple. And so the owner is Haley Steinfeld. And I believe there's 2 other founders as well. The one guy is from Mexico, 5th generation of like owning a tequila farm or I don't know, agave plant farm. Absolutely incredible. It has like an amazing beer beverage as well. They were just all so incredible to be around. And then it was amazing because some of my Buffalo gals were there too, which we all really didn't know that we were going to be there. And now they're going to have a launch party in Buffalo as well. So now we're going to be going to that. So that's going to be fun. So stay tuned for that. But that was a huge moment to be able to like, again, to be in New York and be able to be invited to some of these events is absolutely incredible. Because the other day, I was invited to a gala. There was about 900 of some of the biggest influencers in New York City. And I walk in, and they got my freaking photo printed out from this brand that I was the creative director behind the photo shoot at the event that they sponsored. So Syndicate threw on this one event at Public Hotel. Misguided was one of the main sponsors, and I was hired to make sure that there was creative, edgy, fun content, grab the models, just give the videographer some, not criticism, some ideas, so the videographer is doing 5 million things. There's other sponsors involved, but making sure that we're not just doing a classic, like drinking the bottle, behind the bar, making mixed drinks. So it's this photo, which I'm obsessed with. And all of us are on a pool table. My best friend Ryan's there. This other huge YouTube streamer who has like 2 million followers. She's an art dealer. Other people in the background. And I have the bottle of Misguided, and it looks like I'm shooting it with a pool cube, and then another bottle in the background. And I have sunglasses on, I have a white pearl necklace, and it just like looks so good. But to walk into a gala in New York City and pretty much get my first like billboard, like I was like, who's she? And I ended up popping it out of the frame before I left, and then rolling it up and walking out of there. And now it's hanging out in my room, which we went to this after party that was 7 layers underground, which was crazy. We walk in, it's just a simple little cocktail bar, and they're like, oh, the after party's downstairs. We walk downstairs, there's another bar. Then they're like, oh, no, it's downstairs. We walk downstairs, another floor, go through a wine cellar, go through like a friggin' bank, walk down another flight of stairs, go through another door. Then we're in this thing. And there's basketball hoops, there's an art gallery, like, I've never seen something like this. I meant to find out like what it was in the past, because maybe it was a bank, some type of cellar. It was absolutely the craziest thing I've ever been to. And I met some people that I've been like, like seeing out and all that kind of stuff. And then you just are like, wow, we're all getting invited to the same events. Like we must be up to something cool. It's very easy to like make conversation with that. But speaking of that, I was at that gala until past 2:00 in the morning, then had to Uber home, and then I packed my freaking bags and was on a plane and was in Buffalo at the tailgate by 8:30 in the morning. No sleep till I'm dead, and go to the tailgate, and everything just worked out. And I walked on no sleep, but it was just the tailgate was a success. I had this cute little outfit on, hosting my wing fest. I don't know who we had. We had some other special guests. Oh, Stevie Johnson, I believe, was one of our guests for that one as well. But when I was back in Buffalo that week, I went to the Honey Show, which is this amazing young group of entrepreneurs that are changing the music scene in Buffalo, New York. They are just throwing absolute bangers, and the crowd is so high-end. And when I associate like house music and ravey music, sometimes it doesn't bring the best crowd. A lot of like the furry bunny shoes, the werewolves, they probably identify as cats and dogs. It's just like sometimes like a lot going on. And I've been to music festivals. There's always going to be some dirty hippies. I'm like a clean hippie when I want to be hippie. But anyways, it was an absolute banger. My friend Melinda and I went, and we were freaking dancing. I was behind stage. Then there was, I forgot what the DJ's name was, but he was like a world-renowned DJ for Tomorrowland that was booked in Toronto, and then Honey convinced him to come a day early and do a show in Buffalo, and they sold out Rec Room. Rec Room was so pumped. They were like, dude, we're doing sales like we do on New Year's. Everyone was drinking, which right now, kudos to you restaurant industries, because they're having to pivot so much because people are not drinking the way they used to. They are not partying the way they used to. So to hear a bar that's saying that they're making revenue like they did on New Year's, and I've heard this now twice from my friends that are bar owners that are hiring Honey. So just want to give you guys a shout out. Proud of you guys, because that is a grind. I also went to Brightsmith Brewery, which haven't been to their new location. It's on Niagara Street. It was incredible. I went there with a few of my friends. We brunched. We ate it all. What was like my favorite? Oh, the steak sandwich was so good. I mean, in Buffalo, you got to get a steak sandwich, a lobster roll, homemade waffles. Their beer is absolutely fantastic. What they're doing to the space is absolutely fantastic. They want to create this huge upper deck. They're doing wedding venues there. They want to do some silent discos, which like I love those. The patio is incredible. Then we went boating after. So it was like all in all an amazing day, because being boating, I think it was the last week in September or the first week in October that we were doing it. Was amazing. I did some brand deals with Upstate Vodka. I did some commercials, and they were like, let's go. They're going to do some ad spend on it, which we love. And then also with Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee is a huge, huge brand. I think they have 300,000 followers. And to get that message that they want to do a paid collaboration with me, and I've already had their product before, was incredible because they just got into Wegmans. So they were like, we want to work with you. And I was like, let's go. And I saw that one of my other friends, Dad Chef, also did a partnership with them. So kudos to you. But that was great. Oh, yeah. I also went to an event for the Ryder Cup, which was absolutely incredible. It was with Johnny Walker. I wore this adorable pink outfit with pink sunglasses. And I was just like all decked out in pink, which usually I don't wear pink. But when my friend Blazy Susan's around, I'll wear pink for him. And that's about it. But went there with my friend Levi, Joe, and Ollie. And then we went to the Aussie bar a few days later with everyone because they're all like a bunch of them are all Australian. And I watched their like Australian Super Bowl. First of all, no commercials. Say less. No commercials. Incredible. Snoop Dogg was the opening. And I asked them, I said, what's the vibe with having Snoop Dogg at this event? And they're like, oh, Australians don't really like pay a lot of money. And he was probably the cheaper option. I'm like, whatever. He absolutely crushed it. Like how he's just still pumping out that stuff was so much fun to watch. It's like rugby, football, and soccer made a baby. And that's what we were watching. So that was just, yeah, it was so much fun. I ran into like people that knew of me as Buffalo Food Slut because my friend Natalie is from Westchester. So there was people from Westchester there and they're like, are you Buffalo Food Slut? I'm like, yeah. They're like, we're friends with Natalie. We've seen your stuff forever. So it's always fun to get recognized in there. What else? I went to a tuna cutting where they literally like brought a whole entire friggin' 400-pound tuna and sliced it. And then we were all eating tuna on top of a rooftop at Mr. Purple. So that was super fun. Just like something different. Like I got to post some of those videos now that I think about it. And then I just got home the other day. This is probably my girl who's here right now. Hold on. Hey girl, are you here? Okay, cool. I'll get you in 2 seconds. I'm just finishing up. All right, bye. That's my other special guest. I was like, whatever, we'll take this phone call. She's in the other room. But yeah, and then I just got back. We just hosted a huge event in Buffalo again, another sold out banger with like almost 2,000 people. And I want to shout out Ice Whiskey. They're a whiskey brand that gives like that ice refreshing like taste. And they killed it. They brought a slushy machine. They brought an ice luge. And we just had the freaking time of our life. It was just so... The weather was insane, like crazy hot, like over 85 degrees out. I had this awesome, everyone at the Bills Stadium wore white because it was a whiteout game, which was really fun to be in the stadium because it was a night game. And you just see like a sea of white, everyone in like white clothes. And I had this see-through t-shirt with like little bedazzles on it and stuff. So that was super fun. But we lost that game. And that was against the Patriots. But all in all, that's literally what I've been up to in the last 2.5 weeks. Do I sleep at night? We're working on it. Sometimes I'm waking up with like, just, I need to work on it because sometimes I'm getting this like pain in my chest and I'm like, you're probably a little stressed. And I'm like, yeah, just a little bit. But I have to go because obviously my girlfriend is calling me. Guys, thank you so much for listening to me. Like I love coming on here and just yapping. And now we're trying to figure out how to really like prioritize that, get the YouTubes going. Like YouTube shorts do super well. My social media do super well. But like I need you to go on there and like and subscribe because, and it sounds so cheesy that like I'm saying that, but like you support me at the end of the day. And if you are a local business owner in Buffalo, New York City, or you're trying to get your brands in those cities, like I am your girl. Okay, so keep me in mind. I literally can be drinking your product here. I can be wearing your product here. So keep that in mind. I love you guys so much. And go Bills. Who are we playing today? Oh, yeah, I'm heading to Atlanta. From small town roots to the big city hustle, remember your past doesn't define you. Your passion does. If something hits home today, share it, tag me, even write in. Be a part of this community. This isn't just my mic, it's ours. Check the episode description below for all the links. Until next time, keep building your empire your way.